Hi and welcome. My name is Lawrence Baker. I'm an Adobe certified expert in Photoshop CC and Photoshop Lightroom. This video is going to be about collections in Lightroom. They've not changed much over the years, and this will probably be relevant probably right down to Lightroom 2, but I would safely say Lightroom 4. The only thing I think has changed that you can synchronize your collection online with Lightroom Mobile. But anyway, let's define a collection. A collection is a group that you create. There's some default collections like no keyword that ship with Lightroom, etc. But basically you create the collections. They're groups of photographs given a name by you. That's all a collection is. Now there's three main flavors of collections. There's the normal collection, and it's just called collection. I'm just giving it the name normal to differentiate it from the next one, which is a smart collection. Now smart collections, they are based on criteria you define, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's the quick collection, which resides here underneath the catalog panel. It's got a plus symbol, and the plus symbol means it's the target collection. And the reason it's a quick collection, you can add stuff to it quickly by using a keyboard shortcut B, or coming up to here and going photo, add to quick collection. There's also the little circular icon you can click on here. If you click on that, it will add it to the quick collection, because the quick collection is the target collection. You can see that photograph in there is in there already. I'm going to clear it by right clicking and going clear collection. So that is a target collection because it's got the plus sign against it. You can make your regular normal collections target collections, and that can be quite useful, but I recommend you don't do that and just keep the quick collections as target collections, because if you create a quick collection out of the photographs you want quickly, you can right click and save it, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's start off with quick collection, because I think this is probably the best way to create ad hoc collections quickly. Now let's say I could select this first row of these photographs here. I can just press B on my keyboard or come up to photo and add to quick collection. I recommend you just press B. So I could click on that little circular icon as well there. I'm going to do that now, and it's brought them all in to the quick collection, all five. I could have pressed B. If I press B, it will remove them. If I hit this little circular icon, it'll take them away. So there you go. That's what a quick collection does. I press B again and it brings them in. I could press this circular icon, etc., etc. While I'm here, that shows you it's part of a collection, and it says it's in the quick collection. So that's a little stacked photograph icon there. And you'll notice that stacked photograph icon is also showing up down there, and that shows you it's a normal photographic collection. If it's got the gear icon here, it's a smart collection, and it's a photographic, these are like original library collection, because there are output collections, which I'll show you much later on. So there you go, that's quick collection, and it's also the target collection because it's got that plus symbol. Now as I've got 5 photographs in it, and I've picked them quickly by pressing B on my keyboard, which is the recommended way of doing it, in my opinion. That's what makes it quick. If I right click and go save quick collection, I could just put, just to show you here, clear the quick collection after saving. That would be a good idea. Save, just to show you, will be down there with its 5 photographs in it. Now that's the way I create regular collections quickly. So I'm now going to delete it by coming here. Now I do most of my collection work with the plus symbol here, or the minus symbol, whatever's showing. Now, as I explained, you can have collection sets. Now these are these folder icons here. I don't have many collection sets. These have been generated by plugins, but underneath those collection sets, you'll see other collections. That's all they are, is folders higher up the hierarchical tree, which allow you to store collections in. Right, I think I'd do regular collections, because that will show you what I mean by target collections, because you can't make a smart collection a target collection. So here we go. I don't want to go up to library all the time, and I'm not going to go up there again because I don't need to. I'm going to plus create collection, and this is a normal collection. I need to give it a name. I'll give it target example. I can put it inside an existing collection set, which are these folder icons here. I don't want to, so I'll untick it. Include selected photos. Now, if I had a load of photographs selected, this could be very useful. And even more useful is the make new virtual copies. And that would be very useful if you're going to do something different with these photographs in this collection and output them somewhere else, let's say. You're not touching the original collections, and that could prove very useful. So don't rule that out. And it will save you messing up your original files. So that's a good add-on as far as I'm concerned. Set as target collection. Now, if I set this at target collection, it would take away the default target collection, which is the quick collection. I don't recommend you do this, but I'm going to show it to you. Now, if you sync with Lightroom Mobile, obviously any photographs that you put into that collection will synchronize with your mobile device if it has Lightroom Mobile on it. So let's create it now. So target example is created. It's got the plus sign there showing you it's the target collection. Now, if I want to add stuff to it, come back up to all photographs, let's say, I can just go B, and it's naming it down there, add to target collection, target example. So it's telling you what it's doing. So I've got 5 images in there. And whilst I'm here, a lot of work in Lightroom is done by right clicking. And sometimes you can't do anything without right clicking. It's a little quirk I don't particularly like about Lightroom, but there you go. I love Lightroom, but I think its interface is a little bit clunky as far as playing around with presets and right clicking, etc. So there you are. I can untick it as the target collection. And it's probably the only way I can do it. I can do other things there. I can rename it, duplicate it, etc. You just drag stuff into it, let's say. I can drag any old photograph into it like that. That's the normal route most people would do it. I would personally go to quick collection, add all the photographs in, or drag them all in at once, whatever, but I would use the B method. That's the best method. And then I would right click and save quick collection. It's my preferred route. And I recommend you use it that way because it stops you messing around with default target collection. So let's get rid of that. I don't like it. Let's delete it. I can duplicate it. I can do other things as well. I can export this as a catalog. I'll quickly show you that. You can import and export collection settings. That could be quite useful if you're in a large organization, but for most of us it isn't. But you can export it as a catalog, give it a name, save it in a certain place, give it tags if you wish. Export negative files. It's telling you what it's exporting, by the way, 3 photos and 2 virtual copies. Export negative files means it's the original files. It's just photographic speak for the original files. Slightly confusing. I wish they'd just say export original files. If you didn't want to, and you wanted someone to edit these photographs in the develop module, let's say, or add keywords, you could just have smart previews. And that could be very useful if you don't want the person who's got your catalogue outputting those photographs, because they won't be able to output the photographs unless they have the original files here. So you wouldn't need to tick both. Well, you could, I suppose. Previews means the available previews you've generated inside Lightroom, and previews means what you're seeing in grid view here. Just keep it ticked. Let's not confuse things. So you can import smart collections. Just remember, right click. It will be very useful. As I say, Lightroom loves right clicking. I don't particularly like it, but it's the only way you can do certain things in Lightroom. Now, the next one is the smart collection. Now, I always come here first. I'm not going out to the library. Create smart collection. It's based on criteria that you've set. So I'll give it a name. I'll just call it smart collection. That's fine. I'm not going to rename it. You can put it inside a collection set, which I'm not going to. You can match all, any, or none of the following rules. So I could say rating, or pick tons of different bits of metadata. Yeah. So if I want the rating greater than or equal to 3 stars, I can click create now. If I want to add any more criteria, I could, let's say, add other metadata. I wish they wouldn't bury keywords under other metadata, because keywords are very important. So this will show you an example of why you should keyword your images and put as much metadata into your image or attributes as you can. So I would say it's got the word white in it. Now, I live on the Isle of Wight off the coast of England. It's going to come up and create a collection straight away, which will flash up on my screen. Now, every image with more than 3 stars with the keyword white in it anywhere will show up. So it doesn't matter if it's got Isle of Wight or just white by itself, it will show up. So that's what a smart collection is. And the way you know it's a smart collection, it has a yellow gear icon here. Smart collections are probably the way to go, but it relies on you giving your photographs attributes such as star rating or color labels, etc. But there you go, that's what a smart collection is. So that really is collections in a nutshell. Well, at least you think it is. Well, there's one other one. It's called an output collection. And as I said, if I took this into another module, which I'm going to do now, like the print module, and played around with it, and I create a save print I want to use again, and I call it print output, let's say, create it, press G to get back to grid. There it is with the print icon showing me it's created an output collection. So I find them very, very useful. If I went to the book now and go into the book module, now when the book comes up and I go create save book and I give it a name book output and create it, press G and go back, I've got book output. It'll be the same for the web and the same for the print, etc. But you won't get one for the map module. But the collections panel, it shows up in every module. So in the map module, you'll see your collections. You'll see it in every module: develop module, map module, print module, web module. So it's quite useful to have collections there when you're working in other modules, especially if you've got a collection of photographs that you want to place on the map. So collections are very, very useful. I can't think of anything else I can possibly say about collections. I've probably shown you slightly too much, but my preferred workflow, if I'm working with normal collections, is keep the quick collection as the target collection, press the keyboard shortcut B on the images you want, or drag them in to the quick collection, but I recommend you use B. It's there to make your life easier. That's why they call it a quick collection. If you're keywording properly and putting attributes into your photograph properly, smart collections are absolutely brilliant. And I hope I've covered everything, guys. Thanks very much, guys.